Colorado High School Activities Association football is on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. This afternoon from Fitzmaurice Field on the campus of Conifer High School, it's the opening round of the Class 3A playoffs as the Fort Morgan Mustangs, the 12th seed, take on the 5th seed Conifer Lobos. Along with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode, I'm John Beltran. The Mustangs, the North Valley League runner-ups at 7-3. Conifer, the Mountain Metro champions at 10-0, and they will kick it off. Brought to you by Ingmeyer Phillips Insurance. In Brush and Fort Morgan, things happen in life. It's Graham Dixon, the left-footed kicker, high and deep and fielded at the 1-yard line. Frankie Ortega across the 10, stutter stepping to the 15, to the right side to the 20-yard line, and a scene to the 24, maybe the 25, before he's tackled right there. And the tackle was made by Sam Hornick. Brian, quickly, the Nickell package, the 5 keys to a Mustang victory.
First over, no turnovers. And number 2, you got to create some turnovers, keep the ball away from Conifer. Defensively, put pressure on the quarterback. Offensively, can't wait till the second quarter to show up. You need to score some here. And then you got to slow down their weapons in J.R. Hart and Sam Hornick.
Absolutely. That's the quarterback and lead receiver. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. Second meeting of the season between the teams. Conifer 135-28 in Lakewood. This is at Conifer's field. Backs in an eye. And here's the handoff to the D-back Ortega, and he's stuffed behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of 1. Boy, no shot there for Frankie Ortega. A huge play made by Gunnar Truby, a 5'11", 190-pound junior linebacker. 2nd down and 11 to go for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, no blocking on that front line that time. I didn't notice they were bringing backers or not, but the front line's got to block better than that.
Mustangs were down 28-7 at halftime in that 35-28 loss back in late September. 2nd down and 11 to go from the 24. Out of the pistol formation. Play action, looking to throw. Wheatley steps up in the pocket, takes off with the football, and then he's going to be down at about the 26 or 27-yard line. A little bit of a chill here, but the sun is finally out in Conifer. The gain is close to 3 yards, and they'll place it at the 27. 3rd down and 8 yards to go for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, Fort Morgan's line's just not really doing the job on these first couple plays, and they're going to have to pick up the pace.
Lining up on the right hash mark. You can tell we got a little bit of a wind here in Conifer. Ortega and Marquez are the receivers to the left. Frankie Ortega is the lone setback. On 3rd down and 8 on this turf field from Conifer at their own 27. Now it's a naked backfield. Trips to the left. Low snap. Wheatley throws out to his left. Pass is caught underneath. And a 1st down by Jacob Ortega along the left sideline. He caught it at the 31, but he had a lane over there across the 35. Let's see if they give him close to the 40-yard line. The 39, a gain of 12. And a 1st down, a very simple pattern there.
Yeah, just a pass out to the left flat out there, and then they backed off of him enough to get him enough room to get that 1st down. Excuse me.
1st down and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 39-yard line. Backs in an eye. Wheatley's under center. Receiver to the right, and there's the give right up the middle and to the 40-yard line. That is Ernie Sandoval, I believe, who got that carry. It was a gain of 1, and that was basically Sandoval's yard to gain because there wasn't much on that right side. 2nd down and 9 to go for Fort Morgan. Well, this is different than the last game when Conifer won the opening toss and took up like 8 minutes of the opening quarter in Lakewood. 2nd down and 9. Wheatley, play action, rolls out to his right, throws on the run. Complete! Jacob Ortega along the right sideline. Boy, it looks like he's going to have a big game. A gain of 11, a 1st down as he goes out of bounds, and Wheatley's 2 out of 2 for 23 yards, both to the senior, Jacob Ortega, and that was a beautifully run play on both ends.
Yeah, Conifer's running a 5-2 defense, and looked like the linebackers are stepping up and stunting, so that's when Fort Morgan's going to have to pass to keep the ball moving.
Mobile banking on the go makes banking easier for you when you're on the go. That's Equitable Savings and Loan. Check them out today. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the 49-yard line of Conifer. Opening drive of the game. 9:22 to go. Naked backfield. 4 yards behind center. It bounces into Wheatley, but he's got a hole, and then he backs his way. Did a helmet go flying there? Something went flying to the 46-yard line, but that was not a good snap there. And the snaps have not been an issue all this season. And let's see, the official gain is going to be to the 47, a pickup of 2. It was a design play, but again, the low snap kind of messed that up.
Yeah, you got to get better snaps than that back to him. That just throws your whole timing off when that happens.
2nd down and 8 for Fort Morgan at the Conifer 47. 2 receivers split out to the left. There was movement there. I wonder if that's against Conifer. Somebody came across the line of scrimmage. But was that initiated by Fort Morgan on the left side of their line and the right side of Conifer's line?
It looked like it was initiated by Conifer and made the Fort Morgan guy jump, but we'll see.
This will be a legal procedure against Fort Morgan. What they were coming across, but I think what happened is that the Mustang left guard or left tackle flinched.
Yeah, I think he moved prior to the defender getting across the line. It was a linebacker coming up on a stunt, and he just saw that linebacker coming and flinched to get ready for him. Unfortunately, put Fort Morgan farther in a hole.
2nd down and 13 for the Mustangs at their own 48-yard line. First penalty of the game. And again, sometimes penalties can be the equivalent of turnovers. Not quite as drastic. It really depends how big it is when it happens in a game. Naked backfield, 4 yards behind center. Wheatley back to throw, and he's getting pressure from the middle. Rolls out to his left. Wheatley still rolling, throws in a run. Incomplete. At around the 40-yard line of Conifer, Fernando Marquez was the intended receiver. 3rd down and 13 to go for Fort Morgan. Nice pressure up the middle there by Conifer.
Yeah, they put a lot of pressure on him. It looked like he might have had room on that other side to tuck it and run, but he saw the opportunity to get it thrown downfield, but came up a little short on the pass.
We're going to see how tough Wheatley is today because he's getting hit at every single play.
Well, he went for well over 100 yards rushing and passing against Conifer, including a 63-yard scoring run back on the 28th of September. 3rd down and 13. They're coming on a blitz. Wheatley's going to roll out, setting up a screen to his right. It's caught by Ortega. They need one block, but he doesn't get it. And down at the 50-yard line, one block would have freed him along the right side. Instead, it's only a gain of 2. 4th down and 11. And the Mustangs have to punt. That was set up so beautifully, but Fort Morgan faltered on one block out there.
Yeah, it looked like they had three linemen out there and one defender, and the one defender just kind of sidestepped all the blockers and got to Ortega before he could get any yards.
Boy, that had touchdown potential.
Yeah, it looked like Jacob wasn't waiting for his block to set up either.
Now to punt will be Frankie Ortega. Gets it off a gorgeous spiraling punch, backing up and fielding it at the 5 is Hornick. Now he's got a lane to the outside across the 10 to the 15. A flag is down, still on his feet, tackled at the 20. And that's going to come. They're going to have the ball inside their own 10-yard line, maybe their own 5. That should be against Conifer. David Keller makes the tackle with, boy, it's hard to see that clock, but it looks like 7:46 in that range to go. In the opening quarter, the sun is beaming all over that scoreboard.
Yeah, 7:46.
And let's see what the preliminary indication is. They're walking it back. No, it is a block from behind or in the back. That should set up the football at the 6. They're walking it off from the 11. Maybe at the 5. We'll call it the 5-yard line. 1st and 10. For Conifer, their first possession of the game. The Mustangs have really struggled this season against quality opponents in the opening half. If they can keep this close at halftime, who knows what will happen in the second half. Backs are split. There's the handoff, and stuffed in the backfield there. It looks like Noah Wagner got hit. Yeah, Wagner for nothing. Maybe right at the line of scrimmage. Miko Yanez cleaned it up, a gain of 1. 2nd down and 9 to go for Conifer.
Yeah, I was wondering if Conifer was going to go with the traditional try and run it and get some room, or whether they're going to try and surprise us and send number 1 deep and catch us with a
watch out.
changer.
That number 1 is Sam Hornick, and number 2 is very good too, and Stephen Douglas. He split out to the right. To the left is Hornick. Out of the shotgun, Wagner to the right of the running back. J.R. Hart, the quarterback, awaits the snap. He'll hand it off to Wagner, and he's going to be hit again after maybe a yard. Nick Norris was in there, along with a couple other Mustangs. Looked like Gabe Vickers was right around the football. No gain. 3rd down and 9. Brian, I'm surprised they haven't opened it up, and maybe because they're backed up to their 5-yard line.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, they're keeping it pretty close to the vest right now. But Fort Morgan Erie had a great running game up until last week, and Fort Morgan shut that down pretty well last week.
3rd down and 9. Now Fort Morgan could not get off the field on 3rd down against Erie. Can they do it now? 4 yards behind center. Hart on the end line as the pass blocked. Knocked down by Nick Norris, intended over there for Sam Hornick. Tried to throw it out to his left, and Nick Norris got his paw up there and batted it down. 4th down, and now Fort Morgan's going to have very good field position. Well, you can't ask for much better. That might be their best defensive stand on the opposing team's first possession all season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, go ahead.
So that was a great defensive stand, and it's going to force good field position.
Let's see, that's Dixon to punt, and the left-footed punter with an end-over-end and a fair catch call by Ortega at the 40, maybe the 41-yard line. Yeah, he hesitated on the decision initially, and then he called it, and then he was going to take off with the football. But that's great field position for Fort Morgan at the Conifer 41. Midway through the opening quarter, I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode. No score. The Mustangs did pick up a couple of first downs on their first possession. What can they do on their second one here?
This is the type of field position, though, that you got to take advantage of and get it down and score.
Oh, yeah, that's no doubt about that.
And how big does that penalty come in on that punt where that pinned Conifer in?
Yeah, they might have opened up the offense a little bit more had that penalty not been committed. 1st and 10 for the Mustangs. At the 41-yard line. Wheatley will hand it off, and there's not much there across the right side to the 39-yard line. And that is Frankie Ortega. Gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 to go. Caleb Barker, a 6'1", 260-pound senior, was in on the play for Conifer.
And Frankie was able to get 3 yards after contact. He was contacted a yard deep in his own backfield and fought through it.
2nd down and 8 to go for Fort Morgan at the Conifer 39-yard line. Under center this time. The back's in that I formation. This will be a pitch left to Frankie. Doesn't have much to the outside. Stutter steps, takes it back, and then he breaks free and across the 30-yard line. And Frankie Ortega.
And they're blew the whistle early.
They did blow it early. Let's see what happens, because he was still going there, and they might have stopped him. Let's see what happened there. Ty Davies is wondering what happened, because it looked like momentum was stopped at around the 40 or 39-yard line, but he kept going. Oh, that's terrible. That's a huge loss. Back to the 42, 43-yard line. I don't get that at all. It's a loss of 4.
Unless he was around, his knee went down, but we didn't see it. So,
well, yeah, they have the better angle. Yeah, exactly. The Conifer Public Address announcer has no idea. 3rd down and 12 yards to go for Fort Morgan at the Conifer 43. No score. 5 minutes to go in the opening quarter in this opening round 3A playoff game.
3rd and 12 now for the Mustangs.
Briggs Wheatley with Ortega to his right. 4 yards behind center. Back to throw. Pressure coming up the middle. Deep up the left side. Receivers out there. Incomplete. Boy, a little bit thrown to the inside at the 12-yard line. Fernando Marquez, the intended receiver. And it looks like Fort Morgan's going to have to punt for the second time in as many possessions. And, Brian, they didn't take advantage of the field position despite it being outstanding.
No, and that pass, I'm not sure what it was, but it, like a dying duck going out there, it was not a good spiral pass thrown out there. If it had been a good pass, he might have been able to reel it in.
Yeah, it hung at the last second, and that allowed the defender to catch up. And Frankie Ortega to punt on 4th down and 12 at the Conifer 43. He had an excellent punt that was fielded somehow by Hornick at the 6-yard line. I'd be better advised to let go of it. Get it into the end zone. Awaiting the snap is Ortega. A little bit of a high snap. Gets it off. This one towards the sideline, not as deep, but it takes a huge Fort Morgan roll and out of bounds inside the 10. That football might be at about the 8 or 7-yard line. Well, that's a great punt by Ortega. 45 yards without the return. And for the second time in as many possessions, Conifer starts inside their own 10-yard line.
The special teams has been really big for Fort Morgan this year, and once again here we see that in play.
lining up on the left hash mark. 1st and 10 for Conifer at their own 8-yard line. Will they keep it as conservative as they did last time when they handed it off twice and then the pass by Hart was knocked down by Norris? Running backs to the left and right of the quarterback. Awaiting the direct snap. This will be a give on the right side and not much there. That Mustang defense is right there to stuff. Let's see, that's 14. Oh, that might be Donovan again, who's wearing that number like he did the first time out. Chris Schneider made the tackle. It's a loss of 3. Yeah, that might be Donovan again. He had a different number the first time. 2nd down and 13 to go for the 5.
Yeah, great defensive stand so far by the Mustangs on both possessions for Conifer.
Out of the shotgun, the running back Wagner is to the left of the quarterback. 3-step drop. Hart throwing over the middle. The pass is complete. That's a 1st down to Hornick. He's got daylight along the left sideline. At the 40-yard line, he might go, and he's still on his feet at the Mustang 25, the 15 to 10, 5, and he's gone on a simple slant, 95 yards from J.R. Hart to Sam Hornick, and Conifer leads 6-0.
Just like that, 94 yards or whatever.
You're saying it was on the 6, huh? Okay.
Yep.
It seems like Fort Morgan's kind of susceptible to that crossing pattern that once they catch it, then they have a hard time coming in and getting the right angles and tackling people.
The extra point to be attempted by Graham Dix. And 50 seconds to go in the opening quarter. The score, Conifer 7, Fort Morgan nothing. A 30-second break on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Officially a 94-yard touchdown pass on a simple slant to Sam Hornick, and Conifer with a 7-0 lead, and Graham Dixon, the left footer, will kick it high and deep, and Jacob Ortega at the 4 to his right to the 10-yard line. He stutter steps, swings it to the outside of the 20. Daylight along the sideline to the 30, and then Ortega's tripped up across the 30. Graham Dixon, the kicker, was in play. He got all the way to the 37, maybe the 38-yard line, but Ortega that time doing a nice job of finding the seam to the outside. Now you got to put a sustained drive together via the Mustangs. Boy, but that's a killer on that one play, Brian. What a killer that was.
Yeah, that was it was only about, maybe a 10-yard pass or 15-yard pass. Then he just got it cut out to the edge. It's gone. The couple got a hand on him, but not enough to bring him down.
Kevin, I pointed this out from 2 weeks ago. I was worried when Niwot, a team that has struggled on 2 straight possessions, threw all over Fort Morgan after Fort Morgan got off to the big lead. I know they were playing soft defense. 1st and 10 off the direct snap. Here's the handoff. Frankie Ortega, nice hole up the middle across the 40 to the 41, a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5. And in on the play was Ray Bellotti, a senior, 6'2", 230, second Fort Morgan up to the line of scrimmage. And then last week, of course, it really got bad when Gavin Mendoza and the Tigers threw all over the Mustangs, 4 touchdown passes. And even with that, Fort Morgan still had a shot to win the game.
Right, Fort Morgan pass defense. Yeah, you talked before the game, before we were on air, about blitzing and trying to put more pressure on the quarterback. And Fort Morgan's going to have to figure out some way to keep him from sitting back there and comfortably throwing the ball.
2nd down and 5 to go for the Mustangs at their own 41-yard line. Conifer with a 7-0 lead on a 94-yard touchdown pass from J.R. Hart to Sam Hornick. Out of the shotgun, Wheatley will keep it himself. 1st down to the 46. Boy, then he tried to sidestep a defender, and I think he might have slipped there. If he gets by that defender again, Brian, 1 away, bigger daylight, but it is a 1st down, a gain of 6 to the 47 for the Mustangs.
Yeah, that play has worked well for him all year. Yeah, I think he went to take a step, plant to go left, and it just went out from under him.
Under center, Wheatley from his own 47, handoff to the deep back, Frankie Ortega, and he runs into some Lobos and then barrels his way to the 49 before he's driven back. And they might only give him a gain of 1 with Barker and Truby on the play. 2nd down and 9 to go. That's the 5th carry for Jacob Ortega. Check it for Frankie Ortega with only 3 yards to his total. Fill up your cooler, gas up your car. Stubbs Gas and Oil, easy and convenient. Make them the only stop you need on your way on the big game. To the big game, that is. Stubbs Gas and Oil. Second down and 9. The wind is kicking up at their own 48-yard line. Wheatley keeps it himself up the middle to the 50-yard line and then drives to the 49 and driven back hard. Boy, lots of solid tackling there by Conifer, gang tackling. The pickup of about 2, maybe 3. Sam Donovan was one of those in on the hit. They'll give him 3. Third down and 6 to go for Wheatley.
3rd and 7 now for the Mustangs.
He's carried the ball 4 times for 14 yards. They're not quite deep enough to make this 4-down territory either.
No, not quite yet.
I mean, they've won the battlefield position, but again, the big play, the one big play. Under a minute and a half to go in the opening quarter. Third possession for the Mustangs in this game. On 3rd down and 6, naked backfield. 2 receivers to the right and 2 to the left. Briggs, Wheatley, they're coming on a blitz. Back to throw, hit as he throws, incomplete. Boy, he took a pounding there. Noah Wagner put Wheatley on his back at the 41. And Wheatley getting up slowly with the assistance of Ernie Sandoval. 4th down and 6 to go, and you can see a well-timed blitz at Fort Morgan. The coaches have got to adjust to that.
Yeah, they've got to be able to pick that up. And yeah, Wheatley he was all stretched out there doing that pass, and the defender came in and hit him right in the chest.
Frankie Ortega to punt for the 3rd time in the opening quarter. The snap is right there. Here comes some pressure. He gets it all beautifully. Middle of the field. It'll bounce once, twice, 3 times inside the 10 to the 5-yard line. 3rd consecutive possession as Stephen Douglas was unable to field it for Conifer, that Conifer started inside their own 10-yard line. But it didn't hurt them the second time after they did nothing the first time.
Yeah, Douglas was down there debating with his teammate as to whether they should pick that ball up or let it go.
Yeah, they decided they're just going to let it roll. They were hoping it would bounce into the end zone, but so far the punt game, the special teams has pinned them back. But one big play has put Conifer ahead.
Yeah, nothing to show for it on the scoreboard. 1st down and 10 at their own 5, out of the gun. Running back to the right, and there's the gift to Wagner, swinging it to the outside, breaks it up, a tackle still going. He's got some solid yardage across the 10 to the 11-yard line, then driven back. Cale Langford was able to drive him back along with Andrew Monroe, but it's a gain of close to 6. 2nd down, and a long 4 to go. Gabe Vickers around the football as well.
Yeah, that last long pass play kind of had to loosen up Fort Morgan's defense, have them back up a little bit and be more conscious of the pass, and that takes people out of the box and stopping that run.
2nd down and 4 to go for Conifer. Out of the gun, Wagner to the left, carry for 7 yards, and that'll be the end of the opening quarter. With the score, Conifer 7, Fort Morgan nothing. A 1-minute break on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode. Let's head to the second quarter in this opening round 3A playoff game. Conifer leads 7-0, a 94-yard touchdown pass from J.R. Hart to Sam Hornick. And that yard marker doesn't look right. Yeah, there we go. The 3rd down marker was wrong. 3rd down, and they have the ball spotted incorrectly as well. What are they doing? The ball is spotted incorrectly. That ball should be at the 13-yard line, making it a 3rd and 2. And these officials
there we go.
are
5 yards
trying to get
off.
things together here on the field. The 3rd down. And 2 to go for Conifer, under center Hart. There's the pitch right to Wagner. Not much running room. A flag is down, and he's thrown down by Nick Norris for no gain at the 13-yard line, and the Mustangs will decline that if it is against Conifer. I don't know if you saw anything there, gentlemen.
Shot block.
Yeah,
Looks like.
well, they're going to decline that. Remember, Wagner went for 181 yards on 18 carries.
On the offense, that's a half a distance ago. Replay the down.
Why would they replay the down? You don't want to replay that down.
Yeah,
I
they're
mean,
trying to tell them they
I
want
mean,
to
come
decline
on.
it.
I mean, what?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of ridiculous that
Correction on the play.
there was no correction by the official,
Yeah.
because it was declined immediately by the Fort Morgan bench. So 4th down and 2. Conifer will have to punt. Now here, what you want to do, Brian, we saw roughing the punter last week. That was completely unnecessary. Just back off the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, don't. Just let him get the punt away. That punt, well, it's kind of a side wind, but yeah, you don't want to give him a first down here.
Yeah, just play for the return. Graham Dixon standing at the goal line. 5 seconds into the second quarter on 4th and 2. There's the snap. Here comes the rush, but a line drive. It'll be fielded by Ortega at the 45-yard line. A seam to the 40, and he's down. Tackle from behind by Stephen Douglas. Great field position at the Mustang at the Conifer 35-yard line, a return of 10. So they've got an opportunity here to tie the game down 7-0.
Just seems like Fort Morgan's having a hard time maintaining their blocks downfield. That time there were 2 defenders, and they were each blocked, but one of them was able to get off the block and catch Ortega from behind.
1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Conifer 35-yard line. Well, I mean, they've had very good field position in this game. And again, but still looking for their first points. Under centers Wheatley, man in motion, that's Ortega. And Wheatley will hand it off to Sandoval right up the gut. Driving to the 30-yard line. He just lowered his shoulder before he ran into a couple of those Conifer Lobos, including Caleb Barker. 2nd down and 5 to go for Fort Morgan. Those are the type of runs you need. Too many of those that went negative or just for 2 or 3 yards earlier.
Right, and it seems like the quick hitter is working like you said worked last week, and they don't seem to want to stay with it, although he looks like he might go under center again here.
Well, that's the best way to initiate the quick hitter. Backs it an eye from the 30. Wheatley to the deep back. Frankie Ortega running to his right, and he was hit at the line of scrimmage, but kept the legs going and drove to the 28. 3rd down and 3 yards to go. 10:55 to go, second quarter. Conifer leads Fort Morgan 7-0. 3rd and 3 for the Mustangs. So now this is 4-down territory for sure.
Absolutely.
Well, if they get a quick hitter, if they're going to try to hit Ortega or something with a pass, we'll see.
And do we have a timeout? Yeah, timeout called by Conifer. So Conifer takes their first timeout. A proud supporter of all the area athletes is Mr. D's Ace Home Center. They'll serve you with all your home, farm, and ranch supplies with 3 locations, Sterling, Brush, and Fort Morgan. Mr. D's Ace Home Center. One thing we know for sure, the winner of this game will be a significant underdog next week.
Yeah, that's for sure. With the way Palmer Ridge handled Holy Family last night, Palmer Ridge is number 4 seed, I believe, in the tournament. But they just dispatched Holy Family last night at 63-7.
Yeah, they won by 56 points. So imagine when that went to a running clock, and they expanded on the lead. And Palmer Ridge is the defending state champion, so they also have that pedigree, even though some of the pieces are different.
And I'm not trying to besmirch the Lobos, but I think Fort Morgan would have a better chance just because we'd have them at home. Conifer would have to travel to Colorado Springs.
Yeah, that would be tough. But you know what? Discovery Canyon just beat them 2 weeks ago, and we know how talented that Conifer offense is. But you're right. I mean, there would be a difference with Fort Morgan at least hosting Palmer Ridge as opposed to Conifer having to travel to the number 4 seed. 3rd down and 3 to go for the Mustangs. Out of the timeout, 10.5 to go in the second quarter. Conifer leads 7-0. Backs it an eye. Ernie Sandoval and Frankie Ortega. Wheatley under center. There was movement. No whistle. Handoff right side short of a first down. Frankie Ortega gained a yard. 4th down and 2. I thought I saw some premature movement there.
Yeah, I thought so too.
Unless it was just straight motion. Well, 4th and 2. And the first thing I think of, gentlemen, Briggs Wheatley's got to do this himself.
Yep.
I mean, with some blocking, but stick it into the gut of a running back and then take it yourself and try to squeeze those 2 yards for a first down.
Unfortunately, Conifer's got all 11 players up close and tight, and it's going to be hard to do that.
4th and 2. Briggs Wheatley, right side, keeps it himself. He stretches it out. First down for the Mustangs across the 25, maybe the 24.5. But that's what you got to do. A gain of 3 for Briggs Wheatley. Well executed. There was no way there was going to be a straight handoff there.
Good call, Coach.
Well, no, we saw it last week.
Right.
Maybe not in the same exact situation. First and 10 for Fort Morgan at the Conifer 24-yard line. Mustangs trying to inch closer to the red zone and perhaps tie this game. Wheatley, pistol formation handoff to Frankie Ortega up the right side, but a short gain for Frankie. Maybe a yard, and that's about it. He's struggled to get yardage in this game. Trenton Jay, another senior. Gain of 1 to the 23. Second down and 9 to go for the Mustangs. Approaching the 9-minute mark of the second quarter. Conifer leads Fort Morgan 7-0. Marquez and Jacob Ortega are now the receivers to the left. Pretty well played game so far. Not too many penalties. Under center. Wheatley on 2nd and 9. Play action. Back to throw. Getting pressured. Runs out of it. He's freed. Runs to his left. He pump fakes. He takes off with the football to the 15. Wheatley is still on his feet inside the 10. Down at about the 6. Holy Mahungas, what a run.
Yeah, he's got some skill there when it comes to open field running. It's going to be exciting the next couple of years with him and Frankie Ortega because they're both such shifty runners.
It's a gain of 17 for Briggs Wheatley. I think most quarterbacks, Brian, would have been sacked.
Yeah, I thought they were going to get him back there, but he got out of it.
First and goal at the 6. Backs it an eye. Handoff. Sandoval left side, driving inside the 5 to the 3. He's carrying defender, still going to about the 2-yard line. Man, Ernie Sandoval does not go down easy. It's a gain of 4 for the junior. That was his 3rd carry of the game. Second down and goal for Fort Morgan, just playing some smash mouth football.
He'll make it to about the 2-yard line.
Yeah, a couple more shots like that, and they should be in the end zone.
Well, you've said it many times, Brian. Didn't happen last week. 3 turnovers. Got to hold on to the football right now. The wind is kicking up, so no reason to put it up. Second down and goal for the 2. Handoff right side, and Ortega is going to be hitting the backfield and backs his way to maybe the 5. Boy, they were missing blocking on that side, and it results in a loss of 3.
Yeah, they're just stunting their linebackers, so they have no respect for our pass game at this point.
Well, remember the game against Thompson Valley, Brian, where Frankie couldn't find any daylight. Sarinana had some huge runs.
Right.
You might go to not that this is Frankie's fault, but they might go to a change here, a shift at the running back position until he gets free. Third down and goal from the 5-yard line. Under center, backs in an eye, approaching the 7-minute mark of the second. Wheatley rolls out to his right, throws underneath the pass, is going to be caught. Touchdown, Jacob Ortega. Just beyond the goal line, and the Mustangs are on the board from 5 yards away. Conifer 7, Fort Morgan 6.
That's what we were looking for. Kevin kind of alluded to that. They were bringing people up, but got him with the pass.
Boy, what a perfect pass thrown by Briggs Wheatley. Now the huge extra point. The Mustangs on the swinging gate. I'm still trying to figure that out. Why go to the swinging gate? Extra point now to be attempted by Adam Cardona. Off the hold of Caden Edson. They've got some big boys in the middle trying to block that extra point. Snap is there. The kick is up. And the kick is good. 6:59 to go, second quarter. Fort Morgan 7, Conifer 7. A 30-second break. You're listening to the opening round of the Class 3A football playoffs on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. 5-yard touchdown pass from Briggs Wheatley to Jacob Ortega, deadlocked at 7. Ortega to kick it off. That would be a strange score. And the kick is fielded at the 10-yard line. Running to his right is Noah Wagner to the 15, now to the 20, back to the inside, and a flag is down, and so is he at the 29-yard line. Frankie Ortega and Cale Langford made the tackle, and that one's going to come back. Brian, let's recap that last drive for the Mustangs, which resulted in their first score of the game.
Yeah, they got great field position, 35-yard drive. Took not quite 4 minutes off the clock with a 5-yard pass to Jacob Ortega.
That's a lot of time to take off the clock for 35 yards, but, they'll take it.
That's what they need to do. They need to, I'm not saying if they get out in the open field you're going to fall down to make your drive take more time, but, eat that clock up and keep the ball away from Conifer.
holding penalty. They're back at their 16. Kevin, go ahead.
Yeah, just going to say, here they are starting their fourth drive within their own 20-yard line.
Yeah, well, this is the first one that is outside their own 10. Out of the gun, man in motion to the left is Hornick. Hart, two-step drop, looks to his left, slant over the middle is dropped. Dropped by Stephen Douglas at the 26, but he was wide open, and that's what the Mustangs have to guard against. 2nd down and 10, and you wonder how much Conifer is going to go into throwing mode, knowing the running game is very limited.
Right. Well, and they're probably thinking the same thing that we were talking about Fort Morgan. You know, if Fort Morgan's able to put everybody up in the box, that's going to stop their running game. They've got to pass to open that up.
And I think Douglas is probably more reliable than that. I think they've got better receivers. I think he's a better receiver than what he showed there.
Out of the shotgun, 2nd down and 10 from their own 16-yard line. Quick drop, throw out to the left. It's caught underneath at the 18-yard line, and an excellent open field tackle. That might have been Marquez or Ortega. And let's see, who made that catch? That I believe was Truby. 3rd down.
That might have been Edson out there on that.
Yep, you're right. My bad. It was excellent play by Caden Edson. A gain of 4, 3rd down and 6. As Truby caught that pass for Conifer. Yeah, that's a great play by Caden Edson. Right there on the money to make that hit when the pass was caught underneath. Big play for the Fort Morgan defense under center. 2 receivers out to the right. 3rd down and 6 from the 20. Mustangs coming with pressure. Rolling out to his right. Throw underneath. Pass is caught. And a 1st down breaking out of a tackle. Along the right sideline is Donovan. And he's down across the 40 to the 44.
35-yard gain.
No, that's not a 35. Where was the line of scrimmage there?
20.
Yeah, gain of 24 yards.
The Lobos will have 1st and 10.
I was going to say, that's not a 49-yard gain. That's what I heard. But again, a nice play design there by Conifer. Over 100 yards passing now for J.R. Hart.
Are you suggesting some math lessons are in order?
Well, it's hard to get a 49-yard gain unless he said 29. When you're at the 44, slants is behind Sam Hornick on the 1st down and 10. That was just either a miscommunication or a bad pass.
And lucky for the Mustangs because he was open out there and had some room to run.
2nd down and 10 for Conifer. We have 5:38 to go in the 2nd quarter. The Mustangs have tied the game at 7 on a 5-yard touchdown pass from Briggs Wheatley to Jacob Ortega. It was a 94-yarder from J.R. Hart to Sam Hornick, in which he ran about 80 of those yards to get the first score for Conifer.
Now they have Wheatley.
Pass out in the left flat is caught by Wagner along the left side, breaks it of a tackle, stutter steps back to the inside. He's got a 1st down. Boy, some great moves there by Noah Wagner to the 44 of Fort Morgan. It's a gain of, let's see, about 12 yards and a 1st down.
And they're doing it with yards after the catch instead of throwing it downfield.
55 Chavez on that tackle for Fort Morgan. Will scrimmage first and
Juan Chavez made the hit.
44-yard line.
Unfortunately, they put Briggs Wheatley in at safety on that. He came up, and now he's limping over on the sideline and getting some attention, hopefully.
Yeah, you got to keep him healthy. 1st and 10 for Conifer at the Fort Morgan 44. 7 up on the box. Handoff right side. There's a hole for Donovan to the outside. Daylight to the 40-yard line. Still going. Cuts it back to the inside. A 1st down. And tackled out of bounds there by Nick Norris. But they were able to find a seam in that Fort Morgan defense. And they're going to give him all the way to the 23-yard line, if that's the correct spot, judging from here. And it's a gain of 21 for Sam Donovan. And Conifer now a yard away from getting into the red zone.
And now we got a penalty, probably unsportsmanlike on Fort Morgan, because it's coming right out of the Fort Morgan backfield.
No, that's not good. Maybe a Mustang thought that he was, nope, they're going to pick up the flag. They'll wave it off. But this is big right now because Fort Morgan will have one more possession.
Right.
In the 2nd quarter. You don't want to fall behind 14-7, not score, and then have Conifer receive the second-half kickoff.
And at this point, unless Conifer goes backwards, they're at least insured 3 points with the field goal kicker that they have.
Well, how about a turnover here? 1st and 10 for Conifer at the Mustang 23, out of the gun. Donovan motion to the left. Back to throw is Hart. Plenty of protection. Out to his left. It's caught underneath by Donovan along the left sideline to the 10-yard line to the 5. 1st and goal inside the 5 to maybe the 3. It's a gain of 20. And again, Donovan getting involved in the passing game as well as the running game for Conifer.
Marquez was a little late getting there on defense, and instead of doing the sure thing and going for the tackle, he tried to go for the ball, and that ball was just out of reach and let him march down to the inside the 5.
They're moving the ball quickly down the field. First and goal from the 3-yard line. Ted locked at 7, but looking to break the tie right now with the Lobos. In the backfield is Donovan. 3 yards behind center is J.R. Hart. Wagner repositions. Rolling to his right is Hart. Rolling, throwing into the end zone. Touchdown. Touchdown, Stephen Douglas from 3 yards away. Second touchdown pass of the game for J.R. Hart. And Conifer now leads Fort Morgan 13-7.
Yeah, they made that drive look pretty easy that time.
Right.
The left-footed kicker, Graham Dixon, to attempt a point after touchdown. High snap, the kick is up, and that is right down the middle. 4 minutes, 21 seconds remaining, second quarter. It is Conifer's 14, Fort Morgan 7 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Conifer scores for the second time in the game. A 3-yard touchdown pass from J.R. Hart to Stephen Douglas, 14-7. Graham Dixon to kick it off. And this one, end over end, is into the end zone. Jacob Ortega lets it bounce 5 yards deep. Brian, a pretty lengthy drive there for the Lobos.
Yeah, 84 yards. Took them 2 minutes and, 2 minutes and 31 seconds.
So they go 80-plus yards. In that short of a time, it took Fort Morgan 4 minutes to go 35 yards.
Right, yep. Took them 8 plays.
Now Fort Morgan's got 4 minutes and 21 seconds to go 80 yards.
And 3 timeouts. First and 10. I think the temperature's dropping here. The sun has disappeared. There was some sun. Mustangs at their own 20-yard line. Out of the shotgun. Trips to the right. Wheatley's going to roll that way. Still rolling. Now he pumps, and now Wheatley runs out of it. He's got a running lane to the left of the 20-yard line, along the sideline of the 25, and then he's taken down hard. He fumbles, and did he fumble in bounds, or did it go out of bounds? I think the ball went out of bounds. It did go out of bounds. But I tell you, Wheatley should have just gone out of bounds himself rather than take that hit. He had a shot to go out of bounds. There's a Conifer Lobo down at around the 31-yard lines when he got hit and fumbled, and the ball was fumbled forward. But see there, Brian, that's when you got to just go out of bounds and be the quarterback.
Yeah, you got to play smart. To make it in this, to continue on playing here. You can't be taking hits like that all game and be efficient.
You have to learn to live to play another day.
Gain of 15 on the play. Yeah, absolutely. Wheatley now has 49 yards unofficially on 7 carries, first and 10. But again, he's pulled out 2 magic tricks because he could have been sacked on the previous possession as well from the 35. Briggs Wheatley with a naked backfield, awaiting the snap. Back to throw. Pressure. Throws it deep up the right side. Pass is going to be tipped and complete at the 41-yard line. And then it's Frankie Ortega out there, but it was just overthrown over his outside shoulder. Second down and 10 to go for Fort Morgan as the wind really is beginning to kick up a bit here in Conifer.
Yeah, about 6 inches too far on that pass. Otherwise, Frankie would have been able to pull it in. Probably not be able to continue running, but he would have at least been able to get up there and get it.
Well, and what this wind does, it affects the passing game.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a crossing wind.
Second down and 10 to go for the Mustangs at their own 35-yard line, trailing 14-7, 4:03 remaining second quarter. Briggs Wheatley awaits the snap. Wheatley with pressure coming up the middle, rolls out to his right, throws underneath. The pass is caught but drilled is Jacob Ortega. Nope, he dropped it. Third down. Yeah, he took a shot there.
Yeah, I think as soon as he got hit, it knocked the ball loose.
Third down and 10 to go at the 35. Yeah, this could be a momentum changer here.
Especially if you turn the ball over with, or give them the ball with 3.5 minutes left, and then they get it right after half, too.
Yeah,
Third and 10. Yeah, wind is blowing all over the place here. We're going to cover up our mics here, gentlemen, a little bit as much as we can, even with the pads on them. Third down and 10. They're coming with another blitz. Wheatley looking to his right. He throws, and that's incomplete, overthrown. Marquez was out there at the 46. Two receivers near the same area. Mustangs have to punt.
Yeah, they're coming out, 3 straight passes here. They're kind of getting away from I think their game plan is more run than it would be pass, but after that big run by Wheatley, 3 straight incomplete passes.
Frankie Ortega standing at his own 20-yard line to punt.
Ortega back to kick once more for the Mustangs. Douglas and Hornick back from Hope.
Ortega waits a snap. High snap. He's got to go get it. He does. Sets up, punts, end over end. Fair catch called right there at the 29-yard line by Sam Hornick. And that's where Conifer has their possession. Plenty of time. 2 timeouts for them. 3:45 to go. Second quarter, leading Fort Morgan 14-7.
Now they got a late flag that came in over there. I don't know if they're going to call Conifer for holding because they were down wrestling on the ground. So we'll see who that goes against.
And the conditions are getting worse for the passing game. All types of wind. Yep, it's against Conifer. So that should be half the distance to the 15-yard line. But can you stop this team?
Yeah, I think they're going to have to figure some way to do that. Conifer's doing their best to stop themselves. That's got to be, their 6th or 7th penalty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Get a delicious treat, breakfast or lunch option at Willow Coffee and Bake Shop, 921 Edison Street in Brush. And Colorado Plains Medical Center's experienced physicians and highly trained staff make your hometown hospital the place for expert quality care. Colorado Plains Medical Center, helping communities thrive. From the 20, direct snap handoff, Donovan, left side along the sideline, a scene to the 25, first down. He backs his way. There's a late hit on Conifer. Looked like from here, a really late block, but no whistle. It is a first down to about the 32-yard line by Sam Donovan, a strong run. And he's had a really good sequence here in the second quarter. Gain of 12.
Yeah, Conifer seems to just be firing on all cylinders at this point and being able to stop Fort Morgan or at least make them earn every single yard.
You need a turnover here. If Conifer goes up by 14 and has the ball first in the third quarter, then the elements are much more difficult to deal with. Out of the shotgun. Deep drop for Hart. Throw up the middle. Complete. First down. Hornick breaks out of 2 tackles. Has the left sideline to the 40 with 1 to beat at the 30. And Ortega brings him down at the 20-yard line, but another big gainer there. Let's see if it is the 20-yard line exactly. They're in the red zone already. They might backtrack the football a bit. To the 21, a gain of 47. The 22, gain of 46. And again, that's a killer.
Yeah, it's just a crossing pattern, and I mean he's a 6-foot receiver, but he's got some speed. He gets open out there in the middle of that field, and he just takes off.
First and 10 for Conifer at the Fort Morgan 22-yard line. Mustangs might need a timeout. That's a very good timeout taken by Fort Morgan. You're really not going to use them on offense, even though you might have a shot to get the ball before the end of the opening half. But you got to figure out a way to stop them defensively. And J.R. Hart has 203 yards of passing, and he is 7 out of 10 for 203. That's phenomenal.
Yeah, they're, like I say, offensively, they're doing well. Special teams, I think Fort Morgan's winning the battle there, but both offensively and defensively, Conifer's just pretty much controlling the Mustangs and having their way.
Yeah, once Conifer got going here, they're been able to drive up and down the field. Mustangs had stopped them earlier on, but they've changed it up here a little bit, found something that works for them, and they're able to move the ball now.
First and 10 for Conifer at the Fort Morgan 22-yard line.
But the Mustangs aren't getting the pressure on Hart either when he goes back to pass. They're just not making him rush the ball at all.
Right, he's way too comfortable in the back, in the pocket.
From the shotgun, Noah Wagner to the right of the quarterback. Quick drop, slant, caught underneath by Hornick. He's got a first down inside the 10, maybe to the 9, but that was just a quick hitter there. He really sat in the slot. It's a gain of 12 just inside the 10.
Yeah, Fort Morgan can't afford to go up and try and stop that, because if they do, then it's going to be easy to dump it over the top.
No, they'll call it the 9-yard line, even though looks like it's closer to the 10. First and goal, for Conifer. Fort Morgan takes another timeout. Well, again, I think these are good timeouts. You got to figure out defensively right now.
Plus, it's saving time for when they get the ball. Although I don't know how aggressive you want to be, starting maybe on your own 20-yard line. Don't want to be 3 and out and give them another chance.
Well, but the season is on the line, obviously, for both teams today.
Right.
The winner will take on Palmer Ridge. If it's Conifer, they travel. If it's Fort Morgan, Palmer Ridge travels to the Legion Field. First and goal, shy the 9-yard line for Conifer. Already 2 touchdown passes for J.R. Hart. Well, I think the only way to stop them is a turnover.
Right.
Because they might run the ball once, and if they run it, they're going to take it to the outside where they've had some success. Nothing up the middle has been good for them.
Yeah, Fort Morgan hasn't been able to cut that off on the outside. Their defensive ends aren't stopping that sweep.
From the pistol, Hart, option right, pitches to Wagner along the right side, and then he runs into Caden Edson. Brings them down at about the 6, a gain of 3. Second down and goal for Conifer.
Yeah, it's the first option play we've seen him run today. Seemed to work pretty good when they just hand it off to him. He takes it outside and finds his own room.
Second down and goal for the Mustangs, 6. Taking up some time here, 2:18 to go in the second. Out of the gun this time, Wagner to his left, rolling left is Hart, looking, throwing wide open into the end zone, and it's caught by Donovan actually underneath at the 1. He should have run a deeper route. He would have been wide open for the touchdown. Instead, he was underneath. It's a gain, let's see, only to the 2. Check that. Gain of 4.
Now Conifer's taking a timeout.
Now that helps Fort Morgan, because if not, they could have run that down to about a minute and a half, if not even more. So it's third down. Yeah, he could have run a much deeper route, and it would have caught the ball for a touchdown.
Yeah, he was open out there. Yeah, I don't know. You gotta realize where you're at on the field. It's the same way when you're out in the middle of the field. If you're going for a first down, you've got to run past that stick a little bit if you have to come back to that pass.
Right.
Conifer with a 14-7 lead. We have exactly a minute 55 to go in the second quarter. They're on the Mustang 2-yard line, third and goal. And that's the thing with a passing game. You can throw these passes underneath. The wind's not going to affect you with 5 or 10 yarders, but if you're throwing it downfield, different story. Under center. The backs are split. Handoff, Donovan, right side. And is he in? He is. Just across the goal line. He was in at the 1, but scored. 2 yards for Sam Donovan. Conifer 20. Fort Morgan 7.
Yeah, they made their last couple of drives look pretty easy getting down the field.
Well, the score at halftime on September 28th was 28-7. This is 21-7 if Dixon makes the extra point, which he does, even though there was a strong rush there by Nick Norris. We'll keep it right here. Well, you got to score on this possession, or you got to stop them to start the third quarter. If not, this is going to be Conifer's game.
Yeah, you've got to come up with get some type of points here, even if you get down close enough to get Adam Cardona a chance at a field goal maybe, but maybe you can get a good return, but he kicked it in the end zone last time. So.
And the flags look like the wind is blowing somewhat in Fort Morgan's face, which is going to make any long passing even more difficult.
Well, this will be the 7th game this season the Mustangs trail in the second half, because they'll be trailing, obviously, once we get to the second half, and they've trailed quite a few games at halftime. Dixon to kick it off. Back deep to receive are Ortega and Ortega. Frankie and Jacob, and this is going to be booted into the end zone.
Dixon once more drives it into the end zone for the touchdown.
And they'll start at their own 20-yard line. Can Briggs Wheatley come up with something special here? He's already rushed for 49 yards.
10 for the Mustangs now on the 20-yard line.
And he's done that on 7 carries.
Yeah, it's going to take something special for the Mustangs at this point. You know, but that's what they've got to do. They've got to try and find that special thing and keep fighting. Like you say, it's do or die at this point.
Saw my buddies Rick Call and Bob Everett here at the game. Talked to them before the game. Talk about a ride up to Conifer that involved a lot of football talk. 1st and 10. Wheatley hands off to Ortega. Big hole up the middle to the 25. Stutter steps to the 30, and he dances his way to the 34. Gain of 14. The clock will stop for the movement of the chains. Mustangs got to get up to the line of scrimmage. They have 1 timeout remaining, and by far the biggest run for Frankie Ortega here in the opening half. We got 1:44 to go. 1st and 10. The clock is running once again.
And here's where those calls coming in from the sideline take up time.
Out of the shotgun. And, boy, there was movement. The nose guard moved there for Conifer. But, again, they'll rerun that clock, so you got to run the play as soon as they're up there. 1st and 5 from the 39.
Before the play, encouragement, defense.
Yeah, just a little momentum. At their own 39-yard line. 1st down and 5. Yeah, knocked right into Gabe Vickers. Again, same formation. Clock is running, and they got to be aware of that. The clock only stopped for the movement of the football and the penalty. Wheatley, 3-step drop, throws right side, complete. 1st down to Ortega at the 47. He's still driving his way across the 50 and still going along the sideline, trying to get out of bounds. Let's see, I don't know if he got out of bounds or they just stopped it because he got the 1st down. And we'll find out in a second. Either way, it's a gain of 14 to the 47-yard line. 4th reception there for Jacob Ortega. And the clock is running. And this will be a give to Frankie Ortega. Big hole up the right side of the 40-yard line. Along the sideline to the 30. Frankie Ortega drives to the 25. It's a gain of 22 for Ortega. Another 1st down for the Mustangs.
And it appears Conifer's kind of, playing a prevent defense that's giving a little bit too many yards at this point.
1st and 10 for Fort Morgan. Now a timeout is called by Conifer. Well, they've got 1 timeout remaining with an even 60 seconds to go in the opening half. And Fort Morgan trailing 21-7.
And that's a gift because Fort Morgan's out of timeouts. And
yeah, you're right. I had Fort Morgan with 1 remaining, but you're right. They are out of timeouts.
And these receivers need to, and whoever, whoever runs, need to realize that. And if they have a chance to get out of bounds before they get hit, stop that clock, they need to. You gotta know what the situation is.
We're just past the top of the hour. I'm John Beltran with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode in Conifer. This is Morgan County's B106 KPRB Brush Fort Morgan. Opening round playoff game here in 3A, 21-7. Conifer. Mustangs, they'll have it at the Conifer 25. Out of the gun, the running back to the right of the quarterback, Wheatley, who is back to throw, looks to his left, pumps, heaves it deep. Fernando Marquez out there, and it's incomplete. Oh, broken up at the 1. Fernando nearly pulled it in. A nice pass, a back shoulder pass thrown by Wheatley, but could not haul it in. 2nd down and 10, and that was as well executed as you could have if you're a Mustang, but it just wasn't complete.
Yeah, but pretty good defense there by number 13 for the Lobos. He caught up the few yards that he had to do and was able to get in there and break it up.
Eric Hartness with a coverage for Conifer. 53 seconds to go in the second. 2nd down and 10 to go. Out of the pistol formation. Ortega, here they come on a blitz, and Wheatley's going to get thrown down for a loss. Oh, man, there was nobody that was blocking Gunnar Truby. I mean, he timed that out perfectly. And let's see, now we'll see. I think Fort Morgan did have a timeout. They just had it wrong on the board because they just called a timeout. It's a loss of 10. 3rd down and 20. Well, that was just, it's well-timed, and you don't have anybody to block them.
Yeah, because they'd used 2 of those timeouts on defense.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I said, why did they have showing 0 timeouts there when I thought they had 1 timeout remaining? So, and now they don't have any timeouts with 53 seconds to go.
And And that was a killer. You just have to tell your lineman when someone comes up there, even if you have to stick a leg out or, grab a hold of them or something, you don't let someone come flying through free.
3rd and 20. Might as well run a deep pattern. I mean, you had none to lose right now. You're down 21-7.
Right. Nothing else. Hope for the pass interference call, although unlike the pros, you don't get the ball down at the spot, but you still get 15 yards and another shot closer in.
Well, you know what? If you're a Mustang, you look for your money, man. Jacob Ortega. He's the guy that can get it done. He's the leading receiver, and he's had a solid game for Fort Morgan so far. 4 receptions for 42 yards. 3rd and 20 from the Conifer 35. What are they doing here? I'm not sure. There's some discussion.
Oh, they're talking back here at the 40, I assume.
Yeah. I don't know what the discussion is all about, but well, we should be good to go there. That's the first sack by Conifer. They had 2 other shots, but Wheatley was able to wiggle his way out of it.
You got to predict that they're going to be sending someone on a blitz again.
On 3rd down and 20, out coming on another blitz, and this will be a pass by Ortega out to Wheatley. He's open. He's got it to the 25, to the 20, stutter stepping all along the left sideline. He's got a first down. It was the handoff to Jacob Ortega, and then Wheatley ran the pattern along the left sideline. Boy, what a gorgeous play by Fort Morgan. That's a gain of 24, and now the Mustangs with a big shot here to get into the end zone. Wheatley and Ortega that time trade places.
Yeah, that was a nice pass by Ortega, too. That was a
beautiful pass.
And I thought Conifer had read that. I thought they were following him out there, and all of a sudden Wheatley's out there all by himself.
So Wheatley got out of bounds. No timeouts remaining. 1st and 10 at the 11. 44 seconds to go in the opening half. Naked backfield, 4 yards behind center. Wheatley, 3-step drop. Throws it out to his right. Caught by Ortega. Breaks it up a tackle at the 5. To the goal line. Touchdown! Touchdown, Jacob Ortega. 11 yards out. His second touchdown of the game. Conifer 21, Fort Morgan 13.
Yep, and we said it's going to have to figure something out, and Fort Morgan sure did a great job of figuring it out, getting down there and making this a lot more manageable in the second half.
Well, this extra point is huge. You know Conifer's not going to miss any extra points with their kicker. Cardona did miss one last week against Erie. Awaiting the snap. It's a high snap. The kick is up, and that one looks good from here, and it is.
Yep.
We'll keep it right here. 37 seconds to go. Conifer with a 21-14 lead. And we know that Fort Morgan's been a second-half team all season. Brian, let's recap that very impressive drive for the Mustangs.
That was, that went 80 yards in 7 plays. Took just a little over a minute. About a minute and 25 seconds. And a nice pass to Jacob Ortega from 11 yards out. And the extra point brings the Mustangs to within 7, 21-14, as we got 37 seconds left here in this first half.
Ortega to kick it away. I mean, and they had to get themselves out of a 3rd and 20 with a trick play.
Yep.
On the pass from Ortega to Wheatley.
That play will loom large as far as momentum going in at half and just well-being. Everything that's going to play out well for the Mustangs.
Well, you got to make the play now on special teams. Much closer game at halftime than we saw 7 weeks ago when it was a. Oh, and this ball is batted off a Conifer Lobo, and they've got it right there. And now a flag is down. That's going to be a face mask against Fort Morgan. The ball was booted low and right into a Lobo, one of the up men who caught it, and then ran into a Mustang near midfield. It was caught over there. Well, is that 59? I don't have that on my roster. 69. Oh, they're going to have great field position. Conifer with a shot to score. But why are they not taking time off the clock there? That play took at least a few seconds.
Yeah, they didn't even start the clock.
I mean, that's ridiculous. That's a home field advantage. You can't do that. I mean, the ball made contact. Maybe he didn't see it, but he did move about a yard or two forward. It's a 5-yard face mask against Fort Morgan. But they should take some time off the clock there.
Let's see if they're. I think the.
Cell phone turned in here at the announcer's stand.
They were looking for the football. I thought maybe they were going to tell him they needed to.
Yeah, you can't do that. You cannot leave the clock at the same amount of time. I know it was a very quick play, but at least 2 or 3 seconds. Well, it's not. The time won't make a difference unless, and this wind is getting really bad right now, unless they score with about 3 or 4 seconds to go. But even still. Wait. 5 yard. Didn't they just say 15 yard?
He did say 15. He never gave the personal foul signal.
And he's got to learn how to officiate that one. A face mask there's 2 different ones. 1st and 10 at the Morgan 33. That changes everything. Trips to the right. Hart back to throw. Pressure up the middle. Hit as he throws up the right sideline. It's going to be. Is it broken up? It is broken up near the back of the end zone, intended for Stephen Douglas.
And we did
Briggs Wheatley on the defense over there, along with Jacob Ortega.
We did get a hit in on the quarterback as he let go of that, so at least maybe he'll be a little less comfortable.
Well, they don't want to throw underneath because if they're stopped underneath, the clock is going to continue to roll. They do have a timeout remaining. 2nd down and 10. Yeah, this would almost nullify Fort Morgan's touchdown if Conifer gets back on the board. Trips now to the left on 2nd and 10 for the Mustang 33. Need to cover up the mic if we can, gentlemen, with the wind blowing. 2nd and 10 for the 33. Naked backfield. Hart is going to hand it off to Wagner, and he's down at the 31. Mustangs were ready for that. It's a gain of 2. Gabe Vickers in on the hit. 2nd down and 8. Clock is running. 15 seconds to go. They're going to have to put this up. Now it's down to 11 on 3rd and 8 from the 31. Hart, deep drop. Pressure up the middle. And he runs out of it. Takes off to the 30. Along the right sideline to the 20. Now at the 15 to the 10. Time is going to run out. Time is going to run out. That's going to be it. He got to the 11. But it's a gain of 20 and the half is over. Oh, Hart probably should have gone down quickly, but he did not, and it was an impressive gain for Hart, but the half is over. With the score, Conifer 21, Fort Morgan 14. They're not putting extra time on the clock, are they?
The time's out. I don't know what they're looking at.
No. The time is out. They can't put a second back on. See, this is where not starting the clock earlier. Yeah. There you go. I mean, normally 000 means that the half is over. 21-14, Conifer leads Fort Morgan. A 3-minute break on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Mustang Halftime Show is brought to you by B&B Appliance. They can help you with all of your appliance needs. Stop in and see what they can do for you. B&B Appliance on Ensign Street in Fort Morgan. Conifer leads here at the break in the opening round of the 3A playoffs, 21-14. They got it started with a 94-yard scoring pass on their second drive from J.R. Hart to Sam Hornick. Mustangs did get on the board. A 5-yarder from Wheatley to Ortega, making it 7-7. But then you had a 3-yard touchdown pass from Hart to Douglas, a 2-yard run by Sam Donovan. But that touchdown pass, 11 yards away before halftime, was huge for Fort Morgan, Brian, considering that, first of all, they could have run out of time. Jacob Ortega broke a tackle there at about the 6-yard line. That's a big play.
Yeah, that was a good play. But that got the Mustangs back into it. Then they were able to hold Conifer off there at the end after the face mask and short punt. I think they were trying a short kickoff. Looked like they were maybe going to try to knock it off of one of the front linemen maybe or something and try to fall on it. But it was held onto by that front lineman there and ended up getting brought down by the face mask and set up Conifer real good, but they just didn't have enough time. They had 37 seconds left and just couldn't get it into the end zone.
Kevin, I think we saw something that was very impressive for Fort Morgan late in the second quarter, which they hadn't done for the first, 20 minutes of the game. They actually applied pressure on the quarterback.
Right, it's kind of strange. The last offensive drive for Fort Morgan, they did things that they hadn't done all game, and then on defense, they were able to get a hit on the quarterback and then almost get him down and force him to run till the clock ran out. So those are 2 good defensive plays.
All right, let's look at the yardage here for the Mustangs. So far in this game, unofficially 154 yards of total offense. Briggs Wheatley has thrown 13 passes, and he's completed 6 for 55 yards. He's also got 7 carries for 49 yards. Frankie Ortega had 9 carries for 4 yards, then had 2 carries for 36. So he finished with 40 yards there in the opening half, 154 yards of offense, 224, make it 284 for Conifer. J.R. Hart has been a master passing the football, 9 out of 13 for 220 yards. And they've got 64 yards on the ground. The only reason they have that much is because of this 20-yard run by J.R. Hart. Sam Donovan, the leading ground gainer, he's got 4 carries in the game for 32 yards. So that's where we sit at the break. As Conifer leads Fort Morgan 21-14. We'll take a 2-minute break, and then we'll come back with a second half of our halftime show after this. Halftime show here from Conifer, brought to you by B&B Appliance. Stop in and see what they can do for you at B&B Appliance. You're listening to Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. John Beltran back with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode. Let's get ready for the third quarter here from Conifer in its opening round 3A playoff game, where the Mustangs trail the Lobos by a score of 21-14. A couple of touchdown passes for J.R. Hart and 2 touchdown passes for Briggs Wheatley. Conifer will receive the second half kickoff, and gentlemen, we know one thing for sure, that if Fort Morgan does what they've done all season in the second half, then they can pull this game off.
I think so. I think it's just going to take Fort Morgan adjusting on defense to being able to stop those crossing patterns and the run outside. They had a little bit of success on that. And then they need to get back to whatever they were calling on that last drive. Of course, Conifer was in a little bit of a prevent, but
now
the difference was Conifer was putting 4 guys back and keeping their linebackers back, and that helped Fort Morgan establish some offense.
This would be a big defensive stand here for the Mustangs. Start off this second half. They need to try and stop Conifer like they did there the first couple of times in the first half and get the ball back and see what they can do with it. They need to try to keep them off the board here to keep this game at 7 points.
Well, how big has special teams come up all season for the Mustangs? And right now they've got to do it. They got to come up with something. If not, Conifer could have their way here, because they've been a great offense all season. This offense has been clicking on all cylinders from games 1 through 11 right now, and they've been very difficult to contain. Jacob Ortega to kick it off on that right hash mark. 3 back deep to receive, including Sam Hornick for Conifer. Ortega with a high, deep kick at the 7 to Noah Wagner, running to his right to the 15. A seam to the outside to the 30-yard line. He's got a block to the 40 with Ortega to beat along the sideline. Still on his feet at the 30, by himself at the 10, and he's gone. There is a flag down at the 28-yard line. This one is going to come back. There was a reason he was free to the outside. That's a big, big call there along the far sideline. And it's a block in the back, it looks like, against Conifer.
Yeah, it looked like they could have called another one back there about inside the 20. Like Cale Langford had got pushed in the back, and the referee just let it go.
Well, this will be inside their own 20 again. Oh, that helps Fort Morgan immensely. That could have changed the game right there.
Just shows what kind of athlete that kid is, that he's able to, do that kind of running.
Well, they'll have the football inside their own 20 at the 17. 1st and 10 for the Lobos, 83 yards away. That negated a 93-yard kickoff return by Noah Wagner. Trips to the left. Out of the shotgun for the 17, handoff to Wagner, and he's hit in the backfield, and he's drilled there by Nick Norris at the 16. He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage, but I believe it's a loss. of about a yard. Second down and 11. Wagner's been contained. He went off for 181 against Morgan. Back on September 28th, he's got 11 yards on 8 carries.
And if Norris wouldn't have caught him from behind in the backfield, I think he had a lot of running room.
Out of the gun. Wagner to his right. Hart awaiting the snap. And this will be a give to Wagner, a hole up the middle, which is closed, but not after he picks up a few yards. About 5 to the 21. Cale Langford looked like he was around that football. Third down. Well, they're going to give him 6 yards in the play. So third and about 5 to go.
Still passing distance, and I think we're going to see him drop back and pass on this.
No, it doesn't have to drop back too much. He'll be 4 yards behind center. Third down, about 5 to go. Shy of the 22. Hart, 4-step drop, looks to his right, rolls that way. He's got running room. He's going to have a first down across the 30-yard line and out of bounds into the Fort Morgan bench. At about the 32 or 33, the Mustangs backed off the quarterback and wanted to get into coverage, but it's a gain of 10 yards.
Yeah, that's the second time they've lost contain on him, so they're going to have to make sure that they get their ends rushed from the outside.
First and 10 for Conifer at their own 33. 21-14, opening drive of the third quarter. And Stephen Douglas and Sam Hornick are the receivers to the left. Wagner remains in the backfield to the left of the quarterback, Hart. Man in motion, and there's the flip forward to Donovan, and he's brought down by Fernando Marquez for a loss. That's going to go as a pass. It was a flip forward, but a big loss back to the 27 or 28-yard line. It's a loss of 5, and Marquez just broke through and threw Donovan down to the turf.
Yeah, nice play there by Marquez to get in there.
But again, can Fort Morgan get off the field on third down? That's been the issue. It was the issue against Erie. It's been an issue in this game. 9:45 to go in the third. Conifer leads by a touchdown. Second down and 15 at their own 28. Trips to the right. Now Donovan is in motion to the left. Hart, deep drop, looks to throw over the middle. The pass is incomplete. Boy, right there was Hornick at the 41. Couldn't haul it in. Third down.
And Frankie Ortega had a chance there to plant him as soon as he missed that ball, but he went for the ball instead. And maybe that's would have been a better play to let him know that he's going to get hit if he catches it across the middle. I don't know.
Well, in the September 28th game, Hart had a huge first half passing, but then it was neutralized in the second half when the Mustangs adjusted defensively. Now the sun is beaming on this field for the first time in Conifer, at least with this amount of strength. Third down and 15 to go for Conifer at their own 28-yard line. 4 yards behind center. Back to throw. Looks like setting up a screen deep up the left side. The pass is caught. First down. Boy, what a pass and what a catch there by Hornick at the 46, a gain of 18. He was hit hard there on contact by Briggs Wheatley, who's getting up slowly. But, again, that's what their passing game has done all year. Hornick now with his fourth catch for 169 yards.
Kind of threw that up, and Hornick just went up and out-rebounded everybody going for that one.
Yep. First and 10 for the Lobos at their own 46. Again, a third down conversion. Two running backs in the backfield. Donovan in motion to the right. The pass out to the left. Caught on the flat by Wagner along the sideline, holding on for dear life and making the play as Edson. But that's still a pretty good gain out there into Mustang territory for a gain of 6. Second down and 4. Wagner's second reception of the game. And again, trying to figure out this Conifer offense. It's a puzzle for the Fort Morgan defense at the 48-yard line. Now they're in the, looks like a little bit of a pistol there. And this will be the option right. The pitch to Wagner. Wagner to the outside. Wagner is dragged down by Langford, short of a first down. A gain of 2 at the 46. Well, again, we have another third down situation for the Lobos. But this could be 4-down territory considering we're third down and 2 at the Mustang 46. They've eaten up nearly 4 minutes of game time here as we approach 8 minutes and 10 seconds of the third. J.R. Hart in with the play for the Lobos. Again, the same formation with those two stud receivers out to the left and Hornick and Stephen Douglas. Under center this time is Hart. Handoff left side. Wagner. He's going to be hit at the line of scrimmage and driven back. And there are a bunch of Mustangs in there, including Gabe Vickers. It'll be 4th down and 2 to go for Conifer at the 46 of Fort Morgan.
And here's a huge play that could swing the momentum. They punt and bury Fort Morgan back. Well, that might be better, but they're going to go for it.
Oh, well, I mean, it's 4th down and a short 2 at the Mustang 45.5-yard line. They've got to get to the 44. This time, Hart in a shotgun. And this will be a punt, a high, short punt, a quick punt, you call it, so to speak, inside the 20 and down at the 19. I guess also known as like a quick kick.
Right.
I don't know why they call it a quick kick, even though it's a punt. So the Mustangs do have it. And that was a punt of about 27 yards. The Mustangs now can tie the game if they can score in this possession. 7:02 to go in the third. And Conifer leading 21-14.
Yeah, that was kind of an interesting decision there. But I guess they thought that was the best play and gained them 20 yards of field position.
Well, Fort Morgan's not going to complain about that. They made the stop on defense.
Absolutely.
1st and 10 at their own 19. Out of the gun, Briggs Whately. Play action, looks, throws to his left. The pass is incomplete. Beyond the diving Fernando Marquez at the 27-yard line, an errant pass. Well, I'm surprised they went to the pass so early. Now you got 2 downs to get 10 yards.
And he was open, too. Wheatley's usually been fairly accurate with these passes, but that was way behind him.
2nd down and 10. Handoff, Ortega, right side. Across the 20, down at the 23. Noah Wagner made the tackle for Conifer's 3rd down and 7. Check that. That was Douglas on the hit, too, and not. No, Wagner was there as well. 3rd down and 7. 43 yards on 12 carries for Frankie Ortega. Huge play for Fort Morgan. They don't want to go 3 and out with under 6:20 to go in the third. Pistol formation, 3rd down and 7, coming on a blitz. Whately, play action, rolls to his left, throws underneath, but that's a bad pass, well underthrown. Open was Ernie Sandoval, but he threw it into the ground. It's 4th down. The Mustangs have to punt. That was a very bad sequence for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, I don't think the coaches had that in mind when they came out at half for their first drive of the half, but maybe they can come down and stop, make another defensive stop, and get another try. They're still down just 1 score.
Ortega to punt. That's Frankie Ortega. Awaits a snap. Noah Wagner looks like he wants to come through that line. Oh, it's a high snap. Frankie's got to punt this football. He does. That's a gorgeous spiraling punt. Backing up at the 30-yard line. A fair catch called by Douglas. Man, that ended up being a punt of 48 yards. But you got to play the defense right now. If you are Fort Morgan, down 21-14 with 6:07 to go, third quarter.
40-yard kick there for Ortega.
Yeah, you'd want at least a better sequence, if nothing else. At least, of course, they did get a nice punt out of it, take a little more time off the clock, but it's been nice being able to go down and put it in the end zone, tie this thing up.
Well, maybe a turnover, 1st and 10. No
time.
turnovers so far in this game. At the 29-yard line, naked. Nope, you got Wagner in the backfield to the right, 3 yards behind center. Play action, slant is caught over the middle by Hornick. Close to a 1st down, tackled by Jacob Ortega. It's a gain of 8.
Bring up a 2nd and 2.
That connection's been really, really good today. 179 yards receiving on 5 catches for Hornick. And it's 2nd down and 2.
Hornick benefiting from the fact that there's so many good receivers on this team that they can't really double cover anyone.
Well, he's the best receiver, though. 2nd down and 2 for the 37. Out of the shotgun, man in motion is Donovan. Play action, looking to throw deep up the left side, wide open. Caught by Douglas at the 39. Along the sideline, a cut to the inside to the 20, and he's gone. A touchdown. 63 yards from J.R. Hart to Stephen Douglas. Conifer 27, Fort Morgan 14.
You know, that isn't what
63 yards on that touchdown pass.
that isn't what they needed. They can't rely on the defense the whole time. They're going to have to come out with this offense this next time and get back on the board and get cut into this lead again.
Over 300 yards passing for J.R. Hart. Graham Dixon to attempt the extra point. Off the hold of Hornick. Kick is up, and that's right there. 5:18 to go in the third. Conifer 28, Fort Morgan 14. We're back in 30 seconds on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Second touchdown catch of the game for Stephen Douglas, 63 yards out. 28-14, a short kick here by Graham Dixon, fielded at the 13. Running to his right is Ortega to the 20, along the sideline to the 25. Then he's driven back and down right there. Mustangs 75 yards away from getting back on the scoreboard. Trailing 28-14. Yeah, you got that one opportunity when you stop Conifer, but you don't take advantage. You go 3 and out, and then Conifer comes right back.
Yeah, you're not going to hold them down.
Not for too long, at least.
Hold them down for very long, so this offense has got to get going again.
First and 10 for Fort Morgan at their own 25. But at least as opposed to a year ago when Fort Morgan was out of that game early against Palisade, you make another play, you're back in the game.
Right. Yeah, if they can have a strong second half like they have had in the past in these games, but they allowed Conifer one touchdown in the first game.
Out of the gun. This is a handoff to Frankie Ortega. Big hole up the middle and nearly a first down with a stiff arm to the 34. Before the hit was made there, it'll be second down and 1. Frankie Ortega's run the ball a lot better here with his recent carries. In fact, his last 4 carries have gone for a total of 48 yards. Second and 1 from their own 34-yard line. No reason to panic if you're Fort Morgan under 4:50 to go, third quarter. Trailing 28-14. Briggs Wheatley will take it himself. First down up the gut. Not too much yardage. Then squeezes out an additional few yards. He's got 5 overall there to the 39. That was his first carry of the second half. 8 carries for 54 yards in a game for Briggs Wheatley.
I'm wondering if the Fort Morgan coaches are wishing that they would have gone with this play sequence the first drive instead of trying to pass on first down and catch the Lobos sleeping.
Yeah, the passing game has been okay, but nothing great for the Mustangs. From the 39, Wheatley in the pocket, deep up the left side. Pass is incomplete. Well defended, intended for Ortega. But Eric Hartness was right on top of Ortega at the Mustang at the Conifer 30-yard line.
A lot of teams we've talked about where Fort Morgan just has a little more team speed than them. It just seems like Conifer's matching them team speed and actually excelling them in a couple places where every single play they're able to catch up with the Fort Morgan players.
Wheatley's last 9 passes have gone for a total of 25 yards, only 2 completions. So they have limited Fort Morgan to being a one-dimensional offense, at least here in the last quarter plus. Second down and 10 to go at their own 39-yard line. 4:10 to go, 4:18 to go, but nearly at offsides. And there's the keeper by Wheatley, and he spins across the 40 to the 45, gaining 6 yards in the play. That was very close to an offside, to an encroachment, but good job by the Lobos staying where they had to. Well, they'll give him a 7-yard there to the 46-yard line. Wheatley now at 61 yards. This has got to be 4-down territory late in the third, even though you're on your own side of the field. 3rd down and 3 at your own 46 under center. Wheatley turns, hands it off, right side Sandoval, and he's short of the first down as he muscles his way to the 47. Man, Conifer's playing solid along the line of scrimmage. And even Nick Norris got up off the bottom of the pile. He took a shot there.
Yeah, Frankie had a nice run on that first offensive play here, but it's been tough to come by here lately.
Yeah, there's no tomorrow here for either of these teams. 4th down and 2. The Mustangs will go for it at their own 47 with 3:13 to go in the third. Briggs Wheatley, 4 yards behind center. Ortega's in motion to the left. Wheatley throws it out to his left, caught by Ortega. A first down, and he's clear to the 45, then tackle from behind at the 43. And do we have a flag down?
Looks like there's a flag. It's sitting at about the 46.
That's near the end of the play.
Looks like a flag on the field.
They got to get a call for a block in the back out there on that.
I wonder if that freed him up. It would still set up a fourth down, but if it's downfield, it's still a 4th and short. Now, let's see what we have here. It was a 4th and 2. Is that what they called it?
Illegal block in the back.
Oh, they're walking it off from the line of scrimmage. They might have to punt now.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to.
Yeah, it happened about the 40s, about the 46. It would probably be a 4th and 11.
Yep, Frankie Ortega's in there to punt.
Replay the down.
4th and 12 on the block in the back. So they will punt. This is going to be tough. Fort Morgan cannot win this game, I don't think, if they don't come up with a turnover. J.R. Hart's thrown for 310 yards in a game.
Well, Fort Morgan hasn't killed themselves with penalties, but that was a big killer.
Yep. Frankie Ortega waiting at his own 32. High snap, a heavy rush, but he gets it off end over end, and it bounces at the 31. Takes a huge Fort Morgan roll inside the 15 and down to the 13. All right, another impressive punt. 50 yards with a roll for Frankie Ortega. But again, you have him this deep, and Conifer's not even intimidated by that because they've been that deep like 5 or 6 times in a game. And they've been able to score in a couple of those possessions. 2:43 remaining in the third quarter. Conifer 28 and Fort Morgan 14. When it comes to experience, Buildings by Design is the best in the business. Quality, commitment, and experience makes Buildings by Design the only choice when it comes to your next project. Buildings by Design. From the 13, 1st and 10. J.R. Hart in the gun. Wagner to his left. There's the handoff to Wagner running right back towards the middle, and he's able to squeeze a couple of yards, maybe a third to the 16. Initial penetration by Benny Edwards. 2nd down and 8 to go for Conifer. I mean, they have done a nice job on Wagner, though. I mean, he has really been neutralized with a ground game.
Yeah, they've done a good job on the run game pretty well. It's just those slant passes that
the passing
killed them.
2nd and 8 to go from the 15. The direct snap to Hart. 5-step drop. Looks over the middle. The pass is caught along the sideline now. That's a first down for Sam Hornick. And he's run out of bounds. Again, he just runs that little slant, and then he gets free, and he's very good with yards after the catch. Let's see where the football is being placed. Yeah, at the 28, it's a gain of 13.
Yeah, it's too bad Fort Morgan can't strategically drop a linebacker back in that passing lane and maybe pick that off.
Yeah, they set that about the 29. So.
Yep, gain of 14. 20th pass attempt. The clock does stop, but right now Conifer wants the clock to move with 1:58 to go in the third. Under center is J.R. Hart, 1st and 10 at their own 29. If they hold on here, they'll travel to Palmer Ridge, the defending state champion, for the quarterfinal. Quarterback keeper, a little bit of a hole there. He caught Fort Morgan off guard across the 30 to the 33 for a gain of about 4. They might have given him a 5th yard. 2nd down, and 5 to go. They gave him 5 yards for J.R. Hart.
He doesn't run much. He's only had 27 carries, I think, for 72 yards this year, so he's not a runner.
But he's got 36 yards today on 3 carries. 2nd and 5 to go for Conifer at their own 34-yard line. The Mustangs need a game-changing play on this Conifer possession. Trips to the right. Hart throws it out to his left. Caught underneath. And it's a first down to the 40. Gunnar Truby on the reception, a gain of 6. And it's Truby's 2nd reception of the game. 330 yards passing now for J.R. Hart.
And that's something Fort Morgan's kind of gotten away from, is their short passing game, which was giving them some success. And Conifer's just taking whatever we're giving them.
from the 40-yard line on Conifer's own side of the field. J.R. Hart with a quick drop, throws out to his left through the hands of Sam Donovan. That's a rare drop at the 44, defended by Gabe Vickers. That ends a string of 6 consecutive completions by Hart. And not only did he complete 6 in a row, he completed those for 115 yards. 2nd and 10. I wouldn't be surprised if Conifer goes back to the run game just so they guarantee they have possession of the football going to the fourth quarter with 57 seconds remaining here in the third. On 2nd and 10 from the 40. This could go to Wagner. Yep, the pitch right to Wagner. Swings it to the outside. He's got a seam to the 45, a first down into Fort Morgan territory at the Mustang 49. And Conifer continues to move the ball down the field with great efficiency. It's a gain of 12 for Noah Wagner, by far his biggest carry of the game.
And Wheatley walking out holding his left arm like it's hurting him. And boy, I guess it's no tomorrow if you don't win, but putting your quarterback out there to play defense is risky business too.
Well, you're down by 14, and now Conifer remembers what Fort Morgan did to them in the second half when they made a major comeback, and they've certainly made their adjustments here. 1st and 10, and there's the forward pitch there to Hornick, running it to the left, reversing his field back to the middle, and he's back to the line of scrimmage. So no gain. That does go as a pass reception, his 7th reception of the game. And that'll be the end of the third quarter with the score, Conifer 28, Fort Morgan 14. It's a 1-minute break on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Along with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode, I'm John Beltran. We head to the fourth quarter. Conifer leads Fort Morgan 28-14 in this 3A playoff game. 2nd down and 10 from the Mustang 48-yard line. Hart, quick drop, throws it out to his right, caught by Hornick, makes a move. He's got a first down along the right sideline, breaking tackles, still on his feet to the 50. No, he went out of bounds prior to that. But it's still a first down for Conifer to the 28-yard line. It's a gain of 20.
Yeah, Jacob Ortega was there just enough to get him pushed out of bounds, but Fort Morgan's got to tackle better than that in the backfield, in the defensive backfield.
Mm-hmm.
It's at the 28-yard line. I'm intrigued by the PA announcer. He's got creative math. I think I've heard 3 or 4 calculations there that says, hey, you might need a calculator.
Right.
1st and 10 from the 28-yard line of Fort Morgan. Conifer's knocking on the door again. In motion to the left is Donovan. Back to throw is Hart. Plenty of protection. Now the pocket collapses. He takes off to the 25, and then he's taken down at the 24. A gain of 4.
He went kind of down a little awkward. It's good to see him get up and be able to run good.
Well, if you're a quarterback that throws as well as he does, you almost want to slide.
Right.
He put himself in danger there. Took a shot at the 24. 2nd down and 6 to go. All the John Deere equipment for your operation is at 21st Century Equipment in Sterling and Fort Morgan. 21st Century Equipment looking to throw hard. Deep up the right side, wide open Wagner. 5 touchdown. 24 yards out. No, Wagner had nobody on him. And Conifer now leads 34-14. Another touchdown pass in the game for J.R. Hart. That's his 4th. Now the extra point to be attempted by Graham Dixon, and this second half has belonged to the Lobos.
Yeah, this is unusual for the Mustangs to come out and play like this in the second half.
And the extra point is right in between the uprights. 11:05 to go in this opening round 3A playoff game. Conifer 35, Fort Morgan 14 on Morgan County's B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. Graham Dixon with a kickoff, fielded by Ortega at the 6. That's Frankie Ortega along the right sideline to the 20, and then he's driven out of bounds near the 30-yard line. That 24-yard touchdown pass from J.R. Hart to Noah Wagner, his 4th of the game. Yeah, these numbers are ridiculous here for Hart. He's thrown for 374 yards. Let me see how many incompletions he's got. 4, 5, 6, So in other words, he is 19 out of 25, a 76% completion percentage. 1st and 10 at the 30-yard line. Wheatley to hand it off to Frankie Ortega. Reverses his field, runs to his right across the 35, taken down at about the 36-yard line. And now they stopped the clock. Not sure what happened there. I don't see a flag unless a flag was thrown. Eric Hartness made the tackle near the Fort Morgan sideline, but there is a flag down, and it's a hold against Conifer. So give them a gain of 7. They'll tack that on to the end of the run. On the pickup by Frankie Ortega.
Face mask.
Oh, that's what it was. Okay. I misread that. I thought he said a hold.
Right.
That's what I thought I saw initially.
Yeah, I don't think his mechanics are.
Yeah, he called a hold before that. I didn't see personal foul prior to that. Anyway, 1st and 10 for the Mustangs at the Conifer 48, but they need a major rally here with 10:44 to go in the game, down by 21. Briggs Wheatley out of the gun. Back to throw. No pressure. Now over the middle. The pass is intercepted at the 35-yard line. Right sideline of the 40. That is going to be Hartness back towards the middle at the 38-yard line. That's the first turnover of the game. An interception thrown by Wheatley.
Yeah, he didn't see him coming across the middle. I'm not sure who was downfield there, but he sure didn't see that defender Hartness coming across the middle.
Yeah, he read it perfectly.
Yeah, he was just sitting back there as the free safety, watching the quarterback's eyes and the receivers, and he just stepped right in front of that. Nice defensive play.
Well, now if you're Conifer, you figure they're not going to throw the ball after this drive. They'll throw it on this drive perhaps if they get into a third down situation, but they can really use up some clock here with Donovan in the backfield. 1st and 10 for the Fort Morgan 38-yard line. And now Wagner positions, handoff Donovan left side. He's got a big hole across the 35, near a first down, but he's short of that to the 30, a gain of 8. As a couple of Mustangs get up for the bottom of the pile, including Christopher Schneider, who was in on the play.
Number 70, Shane Martinez on that.
And Shane Martinez in on the hit. Only the 5th carry for Donovan. He's got 40 yards on 5 carries. It's 2nd down and 2 from the 30. Under 10 minutes to go in Fort Morgan's season. At the 30-yard line. Hart out of the shotgun. Wagner to his left has the football. 1st down. He runs it right up the middle for a gain of 5. Fort Morgan tackle is made by Juan Chavez. But right now they've got all the momentum. And they've come out the better team in the second half.
Mm-hmm. Yep. They're controlling the clock. Ball control is what they've done the second half. With a short pass, with a run.
Well, this score is certainly going to wake up Palmer Ridge. They're going to know the type of explosive offense they've got to deal with here in Conifer. 1st and 10 at the Mustang 25. Under center is Hart. There's the give to the up man. And that, I believe, is Donovan, but right at the line of scrimmage. He's hit after half a yard.
Brings up a 2nd and 8.
He got 2 yards out of that? Again, that's creative math. Maybe a yard, but that's it. That's not 2 yards.
Frank Ortega on that stop for Fort Morgan.
Yeah, again.
You got 1 on that.
Yeah, I mean, I heard 2 at the booth, but come on. I mean, those are the shortest 2 yards in the history of football. 2nd down and 9 to go inside the 25 of Fort Morgan. J.R. Hart from the gun. Wagner in motion to the right. Now it's Donovan who's got the pass. He makes the catch, and then he's tumbled over there by Jacob Ortega at the 20. The gain is 5 yards, and a Mustang is down. Nope, Schneider now getting up slowly.
I think he was just...
Yeah, maybe just fatigued.
No, he was blindsided, and number 1's over there in the Conifer bench talking about how that was a cheap shot. That was definitely a blind side. He didn't see him coming, didn't have a chance to react, and should have been called.
Yeah, Ty Davies not happy. He's several yards out into the field, but they're lining up on the right hash mark, and the Mustangs are on the other side. It'll be 3rd down and 4 to go from the 20. We have 8 minutes to go in the game. Conifer 35, Fort Morgan 14. Wagner to the right of the quarterback, Hart. 4 yards behind center on third down. Hart throws over the middle. The pass is caught. That's a first down. And oh, what a shot there by Christopher Schneider, laying out the receiver at the 14-yard line. It's a gain of 10.
Yep.
See who made that catch. That was Donovan. Boy, that's about as good a hit as you can make. I mean, you got to celebrate the small victories now of your Fort Morgan because the game is lost.
Yep.
Players are getting a little chippy on both sides, and understandably on Fort Morgan's side, Conifer's got to be careful. You know, they get chippy and they lose out one of their star players for next week against Palmer Ridge, and it's going to be tough.
389 yards passing for Hart. 1st and 10 for the Mustang 14. Trips to the left. This will be a play action. A slant over the middle, caught by Hornick at the 5, and he's inside the 5 to about the 2. I mean, this passing game is machine-oriented. I give him the 3, a gain of 11. And now he's at exactly 400 yards.
Crazy.
Yep.
Taking time off the clock.
9th catch for Hornick. Well, I mean, listen, they're losing to the better team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, Fort Morgan can play with Conifer, but they can't play with them for 48 minutes. They didn't do it the first time, and they haven't done it this time. I mean, you got to credit Conifer. 1st and goal from the 3. Should be a simple handoff, and no, it's going to be Hart getting smacked down and wrestled down for a loss. That must have been a busted play. 2 or 3 Mustangs came through, including Schneider again. It's a loss back to the 7. Loss of 4 for J.R. Hart. But you know what? It just takes up time with under 6.5 to go. Brian, how long they've had the football? For 4 minutes.
Yep.
At the 7-yard line, 2nd down and goal. Wagner and Donovan in the backfield. This is a handoff to Donovan off the left side. He's got some yardage inside the 5 to the 4. 3rd down and goal to go for Conifer.
Sam Donovan on that carry. 3-yard gain.
Yeah, at this point, the Fort Morgan seniors are just playing for a little bit of pride and realizing that they only have another 5 minutes of football to play in their high school careers, and so might as well go out playing hard.
Well, the weather's taking a turn for the better. Sun is out. It was colder in the first half. 3rd down and goal from the 4. Backs are split, Donovan and Wagner. Hart's already got 4 touchdown passes in the game. Bootlegs to the right, and that's going to be dropped. Wide open was Hornick underneath, and he drops it, thrown a little bit behind him. That's only the 6th incompletion in 29 passes thrown. Oh, it's going to be a field goal attempt by Graham Dixon. Oh, this is just a long extra point for him.
Not even that long.
20 yards, maybe 21, but we'll call it 20 yards for the left footer, Graham Dixon. High snap, the kick is up. That kick is good. 20 yards away, 5:28 to go in the game. Conifer 38, Fort Morgan 14. We're back in 30 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network. 38-14 in favor of Conifer on the 20-yard field goal by Graham Dixon. This could be Fort Morgan's last possession of 2019, a line drive. And that not only went past the goal line, it went past the back of the end zone. What a leg by Graham Dixon. What a leg. What a weapon. A senior. He's got to be kicking at the next level, you would think.
Right.
So the Mustangs have it at their own 20-yard line. Mustang basketball will be getting underway later this month and into early December. We'll have all of the league games and more right here on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network as Briggs Wheatley throws it out to his right. It's dropped underneath by Jacob Ortega. That's a rare drop for him. Really rare drop. 2nd down and 10 to go for Fort Morgan. Well, what this could allow as well is for some of the underclassmen to get into a playoff game. Some of the non-starters.
Definitely Conifer has some of that going in. I think
Second down and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 20-yard line, down by 24 points, 5:24 to go in the game. And Briggs Wheatley this time will hand it off, and that is Frankie Ortega with a seam, and he crawls almost underneath defenders and makes a 1-yard gain into a 5-yarder. That's his 15th carry of the game for 64 yards. Not too bad for him after a slow start. Now we're under 5 minutes to go. Fort Morgan will finish the season 7-4. On third down, Wheatley looks to his left, pumps, wants to take off with the football, has little running room, backs his way, stretches out the football. He's right at the first down marker at the 30. I think he got it. He's right at the first down marker. We'll give him the 30, a first down for the Mustangs. Now the clock rolling. Fort Morgan trying to score on their final possession of the season. You would think it would be with 4.5 to go. At their own 30. Wheatley with a 3-step drop. Now pumps. Heaves it deep up the left side. Marquez is out there, incomplete. He threw it behind him. And Marquez couldn't make the catch. Second down. Well, that's something those two can work on because they're both sophomores. They haven't quite clicked yet. They really never clicked this season. Wheatley did with Ortega, but not with Marquez.
Right. Yeah, his favorite receiver so far this year was Frankie Ortega.
6 consecutive incompletions thrown by Wheatley. On second down and 10 from their own 30. Are they going to come on a blitz? Yep, and Wheatley this time will keep it himself, and he's going to be taken down, but not after a gain of about 6 or 7. Wheatley's had a fine season, really nice season for him.
Number 77, Xander Glowacki on that stop.
The gain is to the 37. Yeah, I'm not sure why they're doing that. I mean, you're up that much. I don't think there's any reason to continue blitzing, especially when you're under 4 minutes to go with a 24-point lead. I mean, sometimes you can't even use the word miracle here. On third down and 3, Briggs Wheatley will hand it off to Ortega, and he spun down at the 38, a gain of 1. And that's it.
Stop by number 74, Bellotti, and 77.
Ray Bellotti made the tackle. Fourth down and 2 at the 38. Yeah, they'll just go for it here. Got to get to the 40-yard line. We'll have a quick post game. Colorado Prep scoreboard show at 3:30 with Kevin Schaefer with all the scores of today's playoff games. And that time, well, there you go, Wagner. I mean, he jumped. Again, why? I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he's a linebacker. Just it's an aggressive. He's had a very good game, by the way, defensively. But again, you're looking at a 24-point lead for Fort Morgan. Just play straight up defense for Conifer. A 24-point deficit for Fort Morgan. First down and 10 for the Mustangs at their own 43, and the clock is rolling with 3:17 to go. Conifer 38, Fort Morgan 14. It was a 21-14 game at the break, but Conifer has scored 17 unanswered here in the second half. The backs in an eye. Wheatley, play action, rolls out to his right, throws underneath. The pass is deflected, intended for Sandoval, and it drops incomplete. That's 7 straight incompletions. Wheatley, let's see. Well, those 7 incompletions have all come in the second half.
He really has not had a single time where he's been comfortable back there while throwing.
He's been pressured. Handoff. Sandoval breaks a tackle at the line of scrimmage, but the second guy brought him down at the 45, and is Ernie hurt? Looks like he is hurt. The tackle was made by Gunnar Truby, and Ernie might have turned an ankle or something. Yep. Ernie's not feeling too well right now. He is writhing in pain. I don't know if he turned an ankle or got a knee twisted there at the 45. But here comes the Fort Morgan medical personnel. And that gives us a chance to tell you that AC Ice is another outstanding sponsor of Morgan County Athletics. Crystal clear ice, good for any drink any time of year. AC Ice. You can pick it up at any local grocery or convenience store in Northeast Colorado today. And when it comes to your future, Northeastern. It's miles ahead in a college that's close to home. That's Northeastern.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't think it was that bad of a tackle. Maybe he got twisted when he...
It had to.
They look like are they working on his upper body, are they?
Yeah, or maybe his upper legs.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, he got twisted around somewhere. Well, let's take a 2-minute break. We're back in 2 minutes, 2:54 to go in this opening round 3A playoff game. It's Conifer 38, Fort Morgan 14 on B106 and the Eastern Plains Sports Network.
The Conifer 47-yard line.
All right, Ernie Sandoval limps off the field out of the break there, an 8-yard completion to Jacob Ortega on a 3rd and 8 for the first down at the 47. Then the handoff to Frankie Ortega is hit at the line of scrimmage, so it's 2nd down and 10. John Beltran with Brian Nickell and Kevin Rhode. Under 2 minutes to go in this Class 3A playoff game in Conifer, and Conifer with a 38-14 lead on Fort Morgan. The Mustangs, for the 2nd straight year, will get bounced out in the opening round on the road, which tells you the value of playing a home game. 2nd down and 10 at the 47. Wheatley is back to throw, sets, and his pass is going to be broken up at the 41-yard line by Donovan. Intended for Fernando Marquez. 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, an ill-advised pass there.
Well, Fernando's a great athlete. The one thing, though, he's been unable to do against his secondary is get any separation. It's been covered really well in this game. 1:36 to go. 3rd down and 10 for Fort Morgan at the Conifer 47. Wheatley with pressure coming deep over the middle. The pass is incomplete. It's dropped at the 27. Pretty good pass there to Leo Luna, thrown a little bit behind him. 4th down.
Yeah.
And that should have been caught. I know it wasn't perfectly thrown, but he fell and the ball came right into his hands.
Yeah, it's right there. Thanks also to Western Engineering Consultants, another fine sponsor. Morgan County Athletics, for all of your projects. Strong commitment to their clients' needs sets them apart. Western Engineering Consultants. 4th down and 10. Here from the 47. Briggs Wheatley with a naked backfield with a 5-step drop. Heave it deep on the right side. Complete. That's a 1st down to Frankie Ortega, breaking a tackle and stumbling to the 24. It's a gain of 23. The Mustangs are not going down without a fight here. Frankie Ortega with a 2nd reception. I don't think Fort Morgan will take any of their timeouts. Got 1:19 to go. 1st and 10 at the 24-yard line of the Lobos. Wheatley with a 2-step drop, pass out underneath on the right flat, caught by Marquez, and he spins his way inside the 20 to the 17. It's a gain of 7. 1st reception by Marquez. Looking for one final score in this game. Mustangs haven't scored since late in the 2nd quarter. We're down to 53 seconds to go in the red zone of the Mustangs on 2nd down and 3, and Wheatley with a 2-step drop towards the sideline, and that one is caught by Marquez, 1st and goal. And that's at the 5, a gain of about 12. You know, I mean, I know these seem insignificant. This is good for next season because Ortega's a senior. You get it to Marquez, see what you can do here. 1st and goal at the 5. And you got Frankie Ortega, another sophomore in the backfield. Wheatley will keep it himself, run to his right, and he's going to be held up at the 4-yard line, a gain of 1. Now let's see if Fort Morgan might take a timeout or just get up to the line of scrimmage. Yeah, they'll take a timeout. I think they realize the value of trying to end well, even in a loss, and a carryover to next season. And that's why they're doing what they are doing. Like a good neighbor, Greg Mullen and his team are there at State Farm Insurance. They make the insurance world easy for you. 842-4555. Conifer will be facing Palmer Ridge. And the Colorado Prep Scoreboard Show is coming up with Kevin Schaefer. here at the bottom of the hour at 3:30. As soon as we're done with Mustang football. So the two North Valley League teams have been eliminated. Fort Morgan Erie lost to Green Mountain 27-7. Kevin will have plenty of interviews as well. We'll make it 3. Roosevelt lost to Discovery Canyon 28-11. So 0 for 3 today. And none of those games were decided by single digits, including this one. Second down and goal for the 4. 2 receivers out to the left. Wheatley quick drop, a fade into the end zone, and it is caught by Cardona for a touchdown. 4 yards out. A senior makes the catch at Adam Cardona. He's the 5th different receiver today for the Mustangs, including Briggs Wheatley, who had a 24-yard reception. And Wheatley has 3 touchdown passes on the day. And let's see, how many yards has Wheatley thrown for here? He's close to 100. Yeah, under 100. Extra point to be attempted by Cardona. Is up and good. 27.7 seconds to go. Yeah, we'll just keep it right here.
That was good to see for Adam Cardona being a senior going out with a touchdown on his last possession.
Right. I think that was good for Fort Morgan to call that timeout and get that score. Like you were saying, it's always good to go out on a positive note.
Sure.
And, it's going to be a bitter enough pill looking up and seeing 38-21, but to know that you're able to march down against their starting off defense because they never subbed in, and be able to do that, that's a positive.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to wrap it up right after this right here and go straight to the Colorado Prep scoreboard show as soon as we're done here in the final 27 seconds.
Yeah, they still got Wagner out there on the kick return.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
Yeah.
What are you doing? You're up by 17. Well, unless he's instructed to just go down, which I think is a smart thing. That would make sense if you have a feature back out there and he just takes the ball and goes down. But if he's running down the field and then is tackled, I don't get that. Fort Morgan almost looks like they're setting up for an onside. And that is an onside, and it's fielded by Conifer at the 49-yard line of Fort Morgan. So they will take one knee. Conifer will move to 11-0. The Mustangs finish off their season at 7-4. So one knee, and that'll be it. Yeah, we will go straight to the post-game show here, so we can get in the full edition of the Colorado Prep Scoreboard show with Kevin. We'll have plenty of interviews as well. We know the main stat. That was the passing from J.R. Hart. And J.R. Hart will take a knee. And the Conifer Lobos have defeated the Fort Morgan Mustangs in the opening round of the 3A playoffs, 38-21.